Welcome back to Section 6, Publishing a Game. During this section, we will be going over adding the final optimizations to our game before exporting and publishing it online. In this video, we will be going over adding the final optimizations to our game. During this video, we will learn about optimizing the physics, materials, and textures before packing all of the external resources into the file. The first thing we're going to do is optimize the physics of the game. Here I'm going to select the prompt, and then we're going to go to the physics panel. I'm then going to make sure that this is on no collision. From here we are going to go down and select the loading menu. We are then going to select the text object. In this case, we also want to make sure that the physics type is set to no collision. After this, we are going to select the overlay scene. Here we are going to select the background and turn it to be no collision. We also need to do the same for the prompt. Once we have done this, we will then go to the main game. After this, I'm going to scroll out. Here I'm going to select the spawner. In this case, we do need physics for the spawner to work. From here I'm going to select the lamp and set these to be no collision. Here I'm also going to select the sun and also set it to no collision. After this, I'm going to go to layer 2, and here we are going to select the asteroid. In this case, if we scroll down, you can see that we are also using convex hull. This is a fairly good representation. And in this case, we also require physics. After this, I'm going to move into the 3D scene and select the laser impact. Here we also need to make sure it's set to no collision, and the same for the dust. Once we have checked the physics for all of our objects, we can then go about optimizing the materials. From here, if we go to the materials panel, you can see that we have a material applied. In this case, if we select the materials tab, you can see all of the different materials in the scene. What we want to do is we want to make sure that we don't have any duplicates that we aren't using. So say for example I have a new material here and I'm finding that this material isn't being used in the game. If I want to optimize the game, I only want to have the materials in the game that I'm actually using. To get rid of a material, we can simply click the minus button. This will simply remove the slot. However, if we select the materials library, we can see that material 006 is still here. However, notice it has a 0 beside the material. This means if we now save the blend file, this material will no longer exist in the updated version. We just need to reload the blend file so this material is removed. Here, if we set the text editor to UV image editor, we can then see all of the different images we have here. If you now find any images that aren't being used, such as references or other images, now is the time to delete them. Again, as an example, I'm going to create a new image. I'm then going to click OK. Here I've noticed that my new image is not being used. So to remove it, I'm simply going to select the X. If we now go into the Images menu and scroll down, you can see that Untitled is still here. However, notice it does not have a 0 beside it. This means it will still exist inside the blend file and won't actually be removed. To permanently unlink an image, we are first going to select it, then we are going to hold down Shift, and then we are going to click the X. This way, if we now select the images, you can see a 0 has been placed beside the title. This means the next time we save and reload the blend file, this image will be removed. Here I'm going to click outside of the menu. After this, I'm going to move into the 3D viewport and press Ctrl S and save. Once we've done this, we are then going to go up to File and then Open Recent and select our game. If we now go into the images, you can see that the untitled image is removed. If we now go to the materials, you can see that the new material has also been removed. This is very important when optimizing a game, as if you pack all of the images in and you aren't even using them, you are wasting the space of the game. The last thing I'm going to do is go back to layer 1, press numpad 0, and here I'm going to select the spaceship. After this, we are going to select the menu and then go to the menu layout. The very last thing we need to do is pack all of the external resources into the current blend file. This means that things like textures and sounds are included in the exported game. To do this, we are going to go to File, and here we're going to select External Data and automatically pack into blend file. Once we have selected this, we'll get a notification telling us how many files have been packed. After this, we then have to save the blend file to pack all of the files. Here I'm going to press Ctrl S and save. We have now completed adding the final optimizations to our game.